Most people still take weeks or even months to deliver one AI system, and I want to show you why that's ending. This is my agentic engineering workflow. It ships the first working version of a client build in days, and that first demo changes everything about how clients see you. In this video, I'm going to run a real client build in front of you, from zero to a working system. We use this exact workflow to ship a $20,000 platform for a sports academy. And there is one step inside this workflow that saves the entire build from falling apart. Most people skip it, and it's why their AI projects die at the demo stage. I run an AI company that has shipped more than 50 of these projects, so everything you will see is the real process. First, let's have an honest talk about speed. Because here is what confuses almost everyone. AI writes code in seconds, so client projects should be fast now, right? But look at the numbers across the industry. Most AI projects still take months, and a huge share of them still not make it into daily use. But why? Because writing code was never the hard part on its own. The hard part is knowing what to build, checking that it works, and getting a business to trust it. This year, the industry finally put a name on the fix. Andrej Karpathy called it the move from vibe coding to agentic engineering. Google published a whole playbook about it a few weeks later. But every video about it is made for developers, and nobody is showing what this means for non-technical founders. So here is what it is in one sentence. Agentic engineering means you stop doing the work yourself and you run a team of AI agents to do the work, while you check the results at fixed points. You're not the builder anymore. You are the manager running the system that builds. Our version of the agentic engineering workflow has 5 steps. We are going from a one-page brief to a blueprint to an agent team through a verification loop and into the client handoff. And to show you each step for real, we will work on a realistic client project request together. Step 1 is the brief. Let's say an email similar to this one lands in your inbox. A cleaning company owner, 60 cleaners, 40 client sites, and invoices going out late every single week. The owner says they are late because every job needs a completion photo checked by hand before anyone can bill it. And the images arrive by text to 3 different phones at all hours. Some of these images are clean, but some are completely unreadable. So the build is obvious. A system that takes the job in, checks the photo proof, and drafts the invoice. But here is how most people get this wrong. They open Cloud Code and start typing "build me an invoicing app." That's vibe coding, and that's the path that takes months to build something real. The agentic engineering workflow starts with one page of plain English instead. What the business does, what breaks today, what the system must do, and what successful completion means. Nothing technical on that page. On screen, you can see my brief template filled in for the cleaning company. Pause here and copy the structure if you want it. This page is what your agents get instead of a vague prompt. And that single change removes half the failure modes before anything runs. Step 2 is the blueprint. And this is the step that makes days possible. So let me slow down here. Remember, agents fail for one main reason. That is missing context. So before any agent touches code, I have Cloud Code write a plan file from the brief. Here is the prompt I used in this case. You can pause here and copy the structure if you want it. On screen, you can see what comes back. The screens it will build, the data it needs, what it will not do, and the order of work. Now here comes the important part. I read that plan as an AI consultant, but I edit it like a contract. Watch this. The plan wants the cleaners to start uploading images through a new web page, but the brief says they text them in from the site. And 60 cleaners won't change how they work on day 1. Changing one line in the plan now saves you from 3 days of trial and error later. We ran this exact step on the flight free run build, the $20,000 academy platform. The blueprint took 1 afternoon, and the client approved it before we built anything, which means the client saw the system on paper, priced and scoped. before week 1 ended. Think about what that does to trust. Most AI builders disappear for weeks and come back with a surprise. You come back in 2 days with a blueprint they can read. By the way, this channel is an open playbook on how we built a 7-figure AI consulting business. If you find this useful, subscribe to learn more about how we actually run our AI consulting business one system at a time. Okay, now the fun part. Let's turn the agents loose. Step 3 is the agent team. And on screen, you can see 4 agents working at the same exact time. One is building the intake flow, one is building the photo proof checker, one is writing the invoice logic, and one is doing nothing but reading the blueprints and checking the others against it. Every agent has full context, so none of them are guessing. While they run, let me answer the question you're probably asking. But Mert, if building systems became this easy with agents, what am I getting paid for? You are being paid for 2 steps agents can't do. The judgment at the blueprint and the accountability at the verification loop. That's the part that's coming next. Every business will have access to the same models you have, but they will not have your judgment on what to build. And they don't want to take the responsibility for what runs. So that gap is our AI consulting business. About half an hour later, this run finished. A working intake, a proof checker, and invoice drafts on the first pass. And this is exactly where most people stop and celebrate. They demo it, the client claps, and 3 weeks later, the whole project quietly dies. So here is the step that prevents that. Step 4 is the verification loop. And this is the step that saves builds from falling apart. The rule is short. No agent's work ships until a different agent tries to break it, and I review what survives. This is not the same agent checking itself. This is a separate one with fresh eyes and one job. Find what's wrong. Watch what it caught on this build. The system drafted an invoice using a photo it's already used on another job. Basically the same cleaning photo proving 2 different jobs. The building agent thought each one was fine on its own, but the verification agent lined them up, saw the match, wrote a failing test, and blocked the invoice. Now imagine that mistake happening with a real customer. That would end up with a chargeback, an angry phone call, and a client who never trusts the system again. You make sure that never happens by using a verification loop with another agent. This is also why clients buy the whole thing. Because here is what I tell every business owner we work with. Yes, the system is fast, but you're not paying for the speed. You are paying for the fact that someone is accountable for what it does. And most importantly, the loop is repeatable. It runs on every change forever and not just on the demo day. Now, I turn this whole workflow into a starter kit for you. The brief template, the blueprint prompt, and the verification checklist. Exactly as you saw them here. You can grab it for free using the first link in the description. Now, the last step is where money actually gets made. Step 5 is the handoff. And this is for the operators still watching, because this is where builds turn into a real business. So here is what the client actually receives from this workflow. The working system, the blueprint, which is now living in documentation, a training session with their team recorded, and ownership because it runs on their accounts and not mine. No black box and no dependency on me to keep the lights on. Now let me show you what this does commercially. 2 members of our coaching program closed their first audit at £1,000. It was literally 6 days after they joined. They ran the audit, mapped the workflows, and delivered it clean. 6 weeks later, the client asked them to build the same system the audit described. Now, the proposal on the table is $20,000. That's a 20x jump on the same client. And it happened because the small project proved that they could be trusted with a big one. That's when it all clicked for them. Speed earns the first yes, the verification loop earns the second one, and the handoff earns the retainer. Because a client who owns a working system wants the next one. The workflow you just watched is the delivery engine behind all 3. So that's the agentic engineering workflow. Run on a real build from start to finish. Now here is what I want you to do. Pick one real business. It could be yours or one that you know well. Write the one-page brief for the system they need most. Just a brief, because once that page exists, everything you watch today becomes executable. And tell me in comments which system you would build first. I read every single comment and the best answer could be the next video. Now click the video you see on the screen to learn more about the AI consulting playbook, and I will see you there.